Hey everyone, my name is Arti on YMCA Go. We are here together for Vinyasa Flow Yoga. We are going to begin standing up today. So please come to stand and place your hips a comfortable distance apart. Hands on hips, and let us just warm up by picking up all 10 toes, grounding our feet, letting those toes come down. And we are going to make neck circles going one way. We start slow and gentle today, as perhaps every time, warming up the body and treating it with respect. Let us go the opposite direction. Feel free to close your eyes. Start breathing steadily. Make a full circle here. Your feet are grounded. And come to steadiness in the center. Take your arms out at shoulder height with your palms facing up. Bring your forefingers to the front of your shoulders, your thumbs behind, and we will continue with shoulder rolls. Going forward first. Nice and steady if possible, already coordinating breath to movement. And going in the opposite way. You may find greater depth of movement going one way than the other. And this depends from one person to another. Good morning, John, and welcome to the class. Please release those hands from your shoulders. Bring them down onto your hips once again. Forefingers in front, thumbs behind you. Take your feet out, pointing to either direction. Be comfortable here and let us make hip circles. Nice, and as far as we can take them at this point in the morning. You may find yourself a little stiff doing this at this time of day. And let us go in the opposite direction. Feel free to bend your knees as you go through these. Feel free to lean forward. And once again, let us come to stillness here. Take your arms out at shoulder height. Take them straight overhead. Turn your palms to face the ceiling. Interlace your fingers. We'll do a small movement here. Breathe in here, grow tall. Breathe out. And go to your right and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come to center. Breathe in. Go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Come to center. Breathe in. Turn to look behind your right shoulder and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come to center. Breathe in. Turn to look behind your left shoulder and go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come back to center. We'll do that one more time. In breath. To the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Center. In breath. To the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Center. Breathe in. behind your right shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last time, center, in breath. Behind your left shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come back to center. Keep your fingers interlaced. Bring them straight out in front of you. Breathe in and pull them into you. When you breathe out, go forcefully. Breathe in. Breathe in. Again. And again. And again. 3 more times. 2 more. And the last one. Well done. Release your fingers, bring them to either side, shake them out, and we will do some Surya Namaskar, 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar. I would like you to come to the top of your mat and take your feet hip-width distance apart. Please measure those by making 2 fists of your hands and dropping them between your big toes like so. That's going to give you hip-width distance for your body. Today we are doing Surya Namaskar in the Shivanand tradition. The first round will be slow. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, hands to heart center. Breathe in, arms on either side, and give yourself a back bend. Bend your knees, let your hips come to the front. As you breathe out, reach forward consciously and come into a forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Either your hands go above your knees or you let them stay on the ground. Breathe out, come back into a forward fold. Breathe in, take your right leg back, drop the knee, look up, and on the same in-breath, and we'll do this next time, with the breath, come into plank. As you breathe out, drop your knees, chest and forehead, leaving your hips sticking up, elbows tucked in. Next in-breath, I'd like you to roll through to cobra. Keep a slight bend in your elbows and don't overextend your neck. As you breathe out, you are going to come into a downward dog, which is where we were heading at this point early in the morning. The Surya Namaskar, as you know, is an ode to the sun. And I think morning yoga classes are particularly appropriate for this form of an offering to our yoga practice. So please feel free to bend your knees. You're going to be here for 5 full breath cycles. You embark on your 4th one right now with a deep in-breath and an out-breath. And the last one. On the next in-breath, right foot will come to the front this time. Left will drop. You will look up between your eyebrows. On the out-breath, you're going to tuck the toes of the back foot and come into a forward fold again. In-breath, halfway lift. Out-breath, forward fold. In-breath, arms on either side, reaching forward, and once again back bend. And finally, come to stand. So that is 1 full round of Surya Namaskar in the Shivanand tradition. We'll do 2 more. Let's begin on an in-breath. Out-breath, hands to heart center. In-breath, arms on either side, fingers wide open and reach back. Out-breath, all the way forward. In-breath, halfway lift. Out-breath, forward fold. In breath, plant your hands. Right foot goes behind you. You look up and move into plank. Out breath, knees, chest and forehead to the ground. In breath, roll into cobra. Out breath, downward dog. And stay here for 5 full breath cycles. Once again, as we had mentioned last time, do not worry about your feet touching the ground, and do not worry about bending your knees. So please go ahead and bend your knees as much as you would like. And try, if you can, to pull your upper arms together so you can feel the movement of the shoulder blades on your back. Take your last in-breath here. And your last out-breath. Next in-breath, right foot to the front, left knee drops, you look up, and on the out-breath, forward fold, in-breath, halfway lift, out-breath, forward fold again, in-breath, arms up and back, out-breath, come to steadiness. For one last time, we will do Surya Namaskar, and let us begin with an inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up, bend your knees. Exhale all the way forward and down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right foot goes behind. Look up between your eyebrows. Come into plank. And exhale, knees, chest and forehead down in Ashtanga Pranam. Inhale, roll through into Cobra. And exhale, downward dog, and hold steady here. Should any of you have Ujjayi breath or deep conscious breathing as part of your practice, please bring it into the poses, especially when we hold an asana, so that you are able to coordinate your breath to the movements that are not visible as you hold an asana, but which you can feel in your body. Take your last in-breath here and release. Next in-breath, right foot to the front, left goes down. You look up between your eyebrows. Out breath, tuck those back toes, come into forward fold. In breath, halfway lift. Out breath, forward fold. In breath, arms on either side with your knees bent. You come up and back. And finally, come back to center. Well done. We are going to continue by moving into Veerbhadra Asana 2 or Warrior 2. So I would like you to take your legs wide apart on your mat. Angle your right foot pointed straight out. The left foot turns in a little. Place your hands on your hips. Bend into the right knee. Keep your shoulders back, your hips squared. If we were to draw a line from the heel of the right foot, it would intersect the arch of the left. Take your arms out, turn your gaze over the middle finger of the right hand. Hold this pose, and we are going to move from side to side. So you're going to move in anticipation of the poses that we will do next. Just a gentle way of limbering up the body and a reminder that in this pose, your legs are going to stay steady. Come to stillness and let us make a movement of this. Tuck your tailbone and your lower belly. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, reverse. Stay firm with the back leg. Breathe into center. Breathe out. Come on all the way forward. Breathe in, center. Breathe out. Reverse. Come to center and forward. Don't put any pressure into this. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, reverse. If possible, turn your gaze towards your fingers. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, forward, really reaching with those fingers. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, reverse. And for the last time, perhaps, come forward and stay here. Let the top arm extend straight behind the line of your head. You should be able to feel a line of energy from the outer edge of the back foot to the tips of the fingers. In the classical tradition, you would turn your gaze to look up at those fingertips. You can also look straight in front or turn your gaze down to look at your foot. As you do that, remind yourself to bend into this knee that your arm is resting on lightly. Come on up, bring those arms down, and let's grab our blocks and place them one behind each foot. So let's come back into our warrior two. Your right foot goes straight out, your left is angled. You are going to bend into the right foot. Take one block, place it behind your right. Take the other, place it somewhere behind your left. Once again, in breath here. Reverse. Hold for a bit. As you hold this pose, keep the back leg firm and bend into the front knee. At no point should the front knee go past the ankle. Come back to center, breathe in. And this time as you breathe out, perhaps you will stay in the position that you were earlier, or perhaps you will reach behind you and find that block. And using that block, move from Veerbhadra Asana to Parshvakona Asana, meaning side angle stretch. Parshva literally means side. Kona literally means angle. So I believe it is translated as such into the Western tradition. Once again, you can decide on the position of your gaze towards your fingers, down to your feet. Try to keep steadiness, try to keep opening between the legs, bending into the front knee and pushing with the back. Take your last in-breath here. On the out-breath, allow your top arm to bring you up straight. Hands on your hips, straighten the right knee, angle it out a little, and sink into the left. Now, before we begin, take the block and place it behind your left knee this time so that it is available for you as you need it. Once again, square your hips, hands out to the side, gaze over the middle finger of the left hand. And now, in breath here, out breath, reverse, in breath, center, out breath, forward, in breath here, exhale, reverse, come to center, and go all the way forward, come to center, inhale, reverse and exhale, come to center, and forward for the last time. Inhale here, exhale, reverse and hold here, just so. If you feel your hips are moving back, try to remind yourself to stay tall here. What will help is a tuck of the tailbone. Now come back to center and let's move forward like so. Now that we are here, let's settle in. Find a place for your gaze. Don't put any pressure on this knee that your arm is resting on. It should be the lightest of touch. Extend and feel the stretch on the right hand side. Reach vigorously through the tops of your fingers. Constantly bend into this knee and push on the outer edge of the back foot. Try to find steadiness here. And as you're ready, take your left arm and find that block. Choose any position that works. You can go to the tallest. You can go to the sideways. You can remove it all together. In Parshvakonasana, once again, find a place for your gaze. Try not to sink in too much into the left-hand side. Try always to feel as much openness as your body allows in the postures that we hold. Take your last in-breath. And on the out-breath, allow your top arm to bring you to center. Straighten out the left foot. Hands go to your hips. Walk your feet in a little bit. More than hip-width distance apart. Point your toes out. And we will move into Devi. Settle down as if you had a chair placed right behind you. Keep your shoulders back. You can move from one foot to the other here. Bring your hands to heart center and let us make this a movement. Breathe in, extend, knees straighten, arms straighten. Breathe out and descend. Breathe in and extend. Straight overhead. Breathe out and descend. And in this pose, as you can see, your toes are pointing straight out. Breathe in and out. Sink as low as you can, keeping your back straight. Breathe in and out. Once again, extend, keep your feet firm, and out, sinking lower every time. Last time, breathe in. Really reach with those hands. And out. Sink in nice and low here. Your shoulders are back and your spine is stacked. Take your arms out. Either side, open those fingers. This pose is named for Kali, the goddess of much destruction, a ferocious figure in Hindu mythology and much love. So hold steady here. Now bring those hands down and place them on your knees. Dip your right shoulder, turn your face to look over your left. Just keep breathing steadily. Come to center. Dip your left shoulder. Look over the right. Come to center. Last time, dip your right. Come back to center. Last time, dip your left. And then come to center. All the way up. Straighten those knees. Hands on your hips again. Walk your feet in just a little bit. Little more than hip width distance apart now. We are going to descend. I would like you to bring your hands to heart center. Breathe in here. We are moving towards squat pose or malasana. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, slowly descend. I'd like you to place the tops of your arms against your legs like so on both sides. This is a pose in which many people like to sit on blocks, and that is totally fine. What we will do here is a small, subtle movement. So breathe in here. As you breathe out, press your palms into each other, press them together, and actively push your legs apart with those upper arms. So let's do that again. Breathe in and relax. As you breathe out, press those palms together and push those legs apart. You should be able to feel a stretch. Breathe in, relax that, press. Breathe out, press them together. This is remarkably good for the hips and creates flexibility where perhaps normally little exists. Let's do that again. As you breathe in, relax that press. As you breathe out, press them together, and there is a subtle movement here. Keep your back straight as you do this pose. Do not allow your back to slouch. Keep your gaze fixed at a point, perhaps a few feet in front of you. At all times, trying to focus the mind. Relax that press. Take your right arm. Take that right hand, place it down on the mat. Take your left and reach back with it. Make yourself comfortable here. You should be able to equalize to a certain degree the pressure in 2 feet. Either stay here or turn this top arm back and reach, reach, reach so that your fingers perhaps make contact or perhaps not. And your gaze is over the left shoulder. And at all times you're trying to keep your back stacked. Nice and firm, not slouching. And you're trying at all times to equalize the pressure in your 2 feet. As you're done, take a conscious in-breath with me. On the out breath, release that hold. Take this top arm up, bring it down, and we will go on the opposite side this time. Place your left arm down. Take your right arm up. Your gaze is going to follow that right arm. Either stay here or turn the right arm back. Take the left around and see if perhaps you make contact between the fingers, even as your gaze turns to the right, even as your feet try to find steadiness. This is a way of allowing the body to twist, as well as enhancing the stretch in the inner thighs. Hold. One more in-breath here. On the out-breath, the right arm goes up, the left comes to the front. You will bring it down and come to sit comfortably on your behind, and we will move towards Navasana or boat pose. In order to do that, I would like you to just bring your feet together, your knees together. Your back is comfortably straight. Take your arms out to the side with your thumbs pointing up, and then take these 4 fingers and tuck them under your knees. Shoulders back. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, let's begin with Ardha Navasana or half boat pose. You can keep your fingers here behind your knees, or you can take them out. And really what you're trying to do is press the inner edge of your feet outwards. So with your hands on either side, staying conscious of your back, pressing into that inner edge of your feet. It is your core that supports you. So breathe. And again. And last time. And bring these feet down. Reach forward, give yourself a hug, because we're going to do that one more time. So give it a squeeze and release. Once again, arms out to the side, and then the fingers go behind your kneecaps. Breathe in here. Breathe out, take those feet up, try to straighten them out as much as you can. Keep your hands here if you like, or take them out to the side, running on parallel tracks to your legs. Try as much as you can to straighten those legs, and I know there are some of you who will do this pose with your legs entirely straight. At all times, breathe. And again. Last in-breath. And on the out-breath, release. Bring your feet down. Give yourself a small hug. And I would like you to come on your back, because we have perhaps enough time to do Cobra. So plant your hands, come on your back, and let your forehead go to the mat. I would like you to place the tips of your fingers directly underneath your shoulders. Pull your shoulders back, elbows tucked. Let us begin with low cobra. So breathe in. Keep the back of your neck long, your gaze straight down. Your feet are on the ground, but your kneecaps are off. Keep breathing here. Don't rise up too high. As you breathe here, take your feet off the ground as well. Take your hands off the ground and be steady. Finally, plant your hands down. Bring your feet down. Relax those kneecaps and descend. We are going to do that 2 more times. Breathe in here. As you breathe out, raise your chest off the ground. Take your feet and your knees off the ground. Take your hands off the ground. Shoulders are back. And keep your neck relaxed and long. Breathe here. Reach with your toes towards the back. Take a conscious in-breath with me. On the out-breath, let the whole structure relax to the ground. And one more time. In-breath here. On the out-breath, starting with your chest, taking the legs up and lastly the hands. Reaching with your toes and the top of your head. All in a line with perhaps an arc in the middle. Make it an active pose. Take your last in-breath with me. On the out-breath, descend. And the next time we will do a full cobra. Keep your hands where they are. Breathe in. And the out breath, press yourself up. Those elbows slightly bent, because if you lock them, it becomes a much more difficult pose and perhaps injurious. So you want to keep your elbows slightly bent, your gaze fixed at a point. And though there is a temptation to throw your head back and extend your neck, do so with caution. And as we are here, take an in-breath with me and turn your head up and to the right so that you can look at your toes with a slight upward tilt to your chin. Come back to center. Breathe in here. Keeping that neck long, turn it all the way around and turn your gaze to the left. And bring it to center. As you're ready, descend. Let your forehead rest on the ground. Take your feet up and windshield wiper them to release any tension you may have inadvertently pulled in your back. And having done this, as we close our practice, I would like you to please come onto your back. Pull your knees into your chest. Roll from side to side as you will. Take your feet up and come into a happy baby. Once again in this pose, rolling from side to side. Giving your back a massage, keeping your neck long. squeeze those feet. Take them out long. Hands on either side. Tucking in those shoulders. Extending your feet. And finally, closing your eyes. As we rest here in Shavasana, we acknowledge that today at least, we made time to do this practice, which is a means not just of physical flexibility and strength, but also a means of focusing the mind. And if only for a brief amount of time, allowing our minds to be free from the wandering ways that our thoughts lead us on constantly and unremittingly. Please continue in Shavasana. As you're ready, make your way to a seated position, coming through the fetal pose where you can rest for a few seconds. Please come to sit in whichever position is comfortable for you. We will end the class to the sound of one Om. You can join me if you would like to. We begin with an inhale. Thank you, class, for coming, and I hope to see you again.